Today we're checking out the RedRock retractable bed step, rear mounted for the 2024 and newer Tacomas. If climbing up to the bed has become too much of a hassle, especially with a lift or bigger tires, this little step gives you a sturdy place to plant your foot without changing the look of the back of the truck. So it's definitely worth checking out. This is a foot-operated rear step that's gonna tuck up under the rear bumper when you're driving, and it's not gonna go anywhere. And then all you have to do is put your foot on it and pull it down, and you have a nice sturdy step that swings down with the tap of your boot when you're ready to get into the bed. This sits right underneath the bumper, and you can easily step on it and pop it out to load coolers, tools, or camping gear, and then it tucks back up out of harm's way when you're done and not using it. Because it's built specifically for the Tacoma, the mounting brackets and everything is gonna line up perfectly with the factory mounting locations, so it looks like it belongs under the bumper, not like some awkward thing hanging off the hitch. For daily use, it's one of those upgrades that you're gonna constantly use without even thinking about it, and it's definitely gonna add convenience when you're getting in and out of the bed of the truck. When it comes to the construction on this, you are getting a heavy-duty steel arm and mounting bracket with a non-slip pad mounted on top. All that's going to be finished in a nice black powder coat finish, and the steel structure is what gives the strength to hold your weight over and over and without flexing or bending even for years to come. Now, as far as the pricing goes on this, it's coming in right around the $200 price range. For a steel and retractable vehicle-specific bed step that's designed to live under the bumper and work with the factory mounting points, it's a very fair price in my opinion. Now, when it comes to the install on this one, it's gonna get rated a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and you can have this job done in just 30 minutes of your time. So let's head on out to the shop. We're gonna give you a detailed walkthrough of exactly how this install process goes.
All right, for this install, we're gonna need a 12mm wrench and a 14mm wrench. Also, if needed, a 3/8 ratchet with a 12mm socket. Today, we're gonna be installing a bed step for a Tacoma. Let's get started. All right, the first thing we're gonna wanna do is get our bed steps assembled. We're gonna place the mounting bracket on top, and that's gonna lock into place there. And then we're gonna take our provided hardware and assemble it into the threaded holes. All right, once you have that tightened down a little bit with a couple threads in there, you're gonna take your 12mm ratcheting wrench or the provided tool that they gave to you and tighten this down. All right, once you have all three tightened, you're gonna move the assembly down to your bed frame. All right, underneath our passenger side rear of the frame, you're gonna have 3 mounting holes threaded. You're gonna wanna install one of the provided hardware screws into the topmost rear part of the frame. And once you get that started, you're gonna thread down about halfway through. And you're gonna leave that in just like that because the mounting bracket's gonna hook onto it. All right, it's best to do so with the bed step open. You can do so by putting your foot on the floor and opening this, but just do it in a safe manner so that way you don't have any pinching parts or anything like that while you're installing. Slide this up and it locks into place there. A little bit of pressure from holding it from underneath. You can then thread in one more just to hold it. And now you can reposition yourself underneath. All right, once you have all 3 of those in a couple threads, you now use your 14mm wrench or the provided hardware to tighten this down. All right, we decided to switch to a socket. It's a little bit tighter to get a wrench inside there. Tighten that down. Switch back to our wrench and tighten the bottom one. A little bit hard to see, but it's tucked right behind the arm. Tighten that one down, and we're gonna move to our upper bolt. All right, the last bolt is in the upper portion where we hooked on originally. It is up there. A little tip is to thread it in a little bit more before you put on the actual bracket. That way you don't have as much threads to turn. Get in there with our ratcheting wrench. All right, that wraps up our install for RedRock retractable bed step, rear mounted on 2426 Tacoma. Just remember, for everything Tacoma related, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.